Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back for another fun library time. Today, it's a beautiful, warm, sunny day. It kind of feels like summertime. My friends have been having a really good time with all the sunshine. We have Ralph, Magic Monkey, Daisy, and of course, Joy is here with her jar of joy so that we can spread our joy when we're finished with our story today. Do you remember what kind of stories we've been reading this month? Right, fairy tales, once upon a time. So the first week, we read Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Pretty straightforward, a pretty traditional fairy tale, right? Then last week, it was the Three Little Pigs, but from the wolf's perspective, the wolf side of the story, and that kind of changed things up a little bit, right? Well, my friends and I had so much fun with that story, we decided to do another mixed up turnaround fairy tale for you today. So are you ready to hear it? All right, we'll tell you what it is as soon as we get ready for our story. So let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouths so we don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. And now we're ready for our story. This one is from a series of fairy tale books that tell it from another viewpoint. All of them do. And this one is based on The Frog Prince. Have you ever heard the story of the Frog Prince? Where there's a prince and he gets turned into a frog and he can't get back to a prince unless someone kisses him. Ew. Well, that's what this story is based on, but I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this one, even if we have to talk about kissing. All right? This one is called, Frankly, I Never Wanted to Kiss Anybody. The story of the Frog Prince as told by the frog, right? So he's the one who's going to tell us the story instead of the princess. Our author is Nancy Loewen, and it's illustrated by Dennis Alonso. So if you like this one, I have more in the library with Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, all sorts of fairy tales. Okay, so here's the cover photo. He's already looking a little bit dazed in front of a well there. This is going to be fun. Here we go. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. I bet you've heard that one before. And I bet you're thinking, ew, kissing a frog would be gross. Well, I just happen to be the former frog who inspired that saying. My name is Prince Puckett, and let me tell you, that kiss was no picnic for me either. Here's the real story. I was playing baseball the day Hank's mom turned me into a frog. One moment I was about to catch Hank's pop fly, which would give my team the championship. And the next moment, I was flopping around on the ground with more legs than I knew what to do with. Sorry, kid, Hank's mom called as she was led out of the ballpark. To break the spell, just get a princess to kiss you. But she can't know you're a prince. So you see, this is a fairy tale, right? So Hank's mom must be a witch or a sorceress, someone who can turn people into frogs, obviously. Well, she didn't want him to catch that ball because then her son's team was going to lose the game. That's pretty sneaky. So he needs a princess to kiss him, but he can't tell her that he's a prince. I'm not sure if a frog told me he was a prince if I would believe him anyway. Let's see what happens next. There he is. Well, whether I was a prince or a frog, I wasn't about to kiss any girl. Ugh. And I soon forgot that being a frog had its perks. Or I soon found that being a frog had its perks. I could see almost all the way around my head. Look at his eyes in that picture. Pretty silly. I could swim and dive like nobody's business. And boy, could I jump. Those would be some cool things to be able to do. I jumped and jumped all the way to a new home near a well under an old tree. One day, I was playing kick the mushroom with my frog buddies when I heard the unmistakable sound of a ball smacking into a glove. That's the princess, Mickey told me. She's always coming out here to practice. I listened to the smack, 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 and I wished that I could be just a regular baseball-playing prince again. Oh, he misses baseball. Then it happened. Smack, smack, plunk. The ball landed in the well. Oh, that was my lucky ball, the princess cried. The gang gathered around me. If you offer to get the ball, she'll offer to pay you back somehow, Willie said. Then you can ask for that kiss. Go on, Harmon prodded. Think of your teammates back home. Oh, that's nice that the frogs are trying to get him back to a little boy. Well, I worked on my courage and jumped beside her. Would you like me to get your ball? I asked. You? She asked. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. I hopped into the well and kicked the ball out. How can I ever repay you? The princess asked. Just ask and it's yours. Oh, you mean I'd like a... Oh, I stammered. Finally blurted out, "The kiss! I want you to kiss me!" Blah! The princess said. We stared at each other, and she leaned toward me. I leaned toward her. Nope, can't do it, she said. She took her ball and ran away. Uh-oh, she tried. Well, that made me a little mad. A deal's a deal, right? Well, it took me a while, but jump by jump, I followed her back to her castle. The princess wouldn't open the door, but I stood there croaking loudly until her father, the king himself, let me in. I told him about our agreement. My daughter must keep her word, the king assured me in a booming voice. Then he plopped me down on the dinner table right next to her. The princess looked the other way. I'll kiss you after we eat, she said. Promise. Do you think she will? Let's see. Oh, but as soon as she'd swallowed her last bite of lemon tart, she dashed up the stairs. I hopped right after her. I'll kiss you right before I go to sleep, she said. But she pulled the covers over her head and quickly began to fake snore. I spotted her lucky ball in the corner. Well, I guess I'll be going now, I said. Since you won't kiss me, I'll just take this. Oh, boy. The princess flung off the covers. No, wait, I'll do it. She picked me up and held me to her face. She closed her eyes. Oh, I closed my eyes. Then her lips touched me. Ugh! We both shrieked. I felt myself being hurled into the air, and suddenly I was stumbling around with 2 legs and 2 arms that I didn't know what to do with. You're a prince, she said. What an arm, I said, because she threw him really far. Did we fall in love, get married, and live happily ever after? No way. But my team got a great new starting pitcher. The end. What do you think about that? So she did end up kissing him because she loved that lucky ball. She loved baseball just as much as he did. So once she kissed him, blah, they realized they could play baseball together. They didn't need to get married. They were kids, right? I think that's a really fun way to tell this story. Did you like it? Well, if you did like this one, you can ask me for other princess books or fairy tale turned around in the library. They're still by this Loewen, and they're all kind of skinny like this, so it doesn't take too long to read. I think you guys would be super readers and have a lot of fun reading some of these fairy tale books. Would you like to make a frog? Now, I was thinking, we did learn how to draw a frog, right, when we read about the tadpoles. What if we made a little frog puppet? He looks like this. Isn't he cute? And his mouth opens. Wah. Whoop. He falls out of my hand. Your hand is smaller, so it would work a lot better. But you can see, you can set him down. His mouth opens up. He's got some cute eyes right there. He's got his legs and his arms. Want to make him? All right, here's what we do. It's very simple. Now, I'm using green paper. You can see this paper is a little darker. I'm going to use lighter paper just because that's the other color that I had today. So if you only have orange paper, make him an orange frog. If you only have white paper, make him a white frog and you can color him, right? It's okay. So you just need a half of a piece of paper. I cut my paper in half, rump, just like that. Then you're gonna fold it in half, like you're making a card. Just fold it in half. And so you can already tell this is the part that opens up, womp, womp, like that. So the part that opens, that's what we're cutting on, right? We're cutting we don't want to cut across this part because it would come apart then. So on the folded edge, you're just going to make a big U. From the folded edge at the top, you're going to make a U. Come down and come back up. Just make a U. It's okay if yours is wider. Yours could go from one corner to the other. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to cut that out, okay? Cut it all the way around so you end up with the base of your frog, right? Well, what did our frog have inside? Yeah, a mouth. So I actually have a scrap of red paper. I'm going to use this. And the same thing, whatever size paper you have, I'm going to make a smaller U shape, but I'm not folding it. I'm just making a smaller U shape like that. Then we're going to cut that out. Now, if you just want to cut and you don't want to use your pencil to make a mark, that's okay, but sometimes it gets a little crazy. Then you're going to need your glue stick. I'm going to take my glue stick and put it on my mouth. Like that. And then I'm going to stick it right on the inside of my frog's mouth. So I'm going to put it right up to where the fold is. See that? Right up to where the fold is, so when it folds down, it doesn't fold the red. There's his mouth. Okay, so you can kind of see it when his mouth opens up. We'll do the tongue a little bit later. Did you notice he has this curly, cute tongue? We'll do that later. For now, we have a mouth. Next, we need to add his legs, right? So here's what I did. I actually used this piece because it's always good to use as many scraps as you can. And as you see, it's already together because I folded it. So then I can draw a leg on this side and on this side, and I'll end up with 4. Watch this. So you just start at the top, and just to make your leg, you're just gonna go down, as long as you want to make it. And then you're just going to make 3 points. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Kind of like you're making a W. Go back up. Right? Or an M, a capital M. Up, down, up, down. Then flip it over, run out, just like that. And you're gonna do the same thing. Make a long line down and then make your M up, down, and go all the way back up. That kind of gives him like his webbed feet look, right? So I have one on both sides. I'm just gonna cut those out. And since it's folded in half, I'm gonna keep it folded because that'll give me 2 for each one, right? Let me see if I can see where that is. Let's start right there. And we're gonna cut those little, oops. I cut the side out. So now all I have to do is cut the points out, right? So I'm just gonna snip up. If you need someone to help you, that's fine, but I think you should try because it's always more fun to try to do it yourself. Did I say it had to be perfect? Nope. Did I say your legs have to look exactly like mine? I certainly did not. I never say that because these frogs are our own creation, right? I'm gonna snip at the top above his toes. So then it's easier for me, right? It's easier for me to get to those points. So we're gonna snip the points, just like that. Come on, scissors, you can do it. There we go. That one's really tall. Let's snip it down. See, so even I have to trim it up a little bit sometimes. That's okay. So now I have 1, 2, hold them up like that, and the other 2, 3, 4. All you're gonna do is put a little bit of glue at the end that doesn't have the points, because those are his toes, right? And on the bottom of his mouth side, you'll put 1 over here. I'm gluing it underneath. Put another little bit of glue on the top, and you're gonna glue it underneath, just like that. Same thing, another little bit of glue at the tip of it, underneath up by the mouth this time, and another little bit of glue on this side, okay? So now he has his legs. Now if you want, you don't have to. You can take it and like bend it down just a little bit. Not really make a fold, but just kind of crease it a little bit, and that way it won't be quite so flat. So here, I'm gonna hold it down with my thumb where it's glued and just bend it back a little bit. Hold it down where it's glued and bend it back a little bit, okay? So then it gives it a little more pizzazz. How do you like that? What's he missing? Some eyeballs. Eyeballs are so easy. We could even use, now I'm really gonna use all my paper. I kind of snipped, this one's a little bit bigger. See how I still, after cutting my legs, I still have this much? That's big enough for an eye. So a frog's eyes are pretty big, right? So we're gonna start at the bottom, and you're gonna make a pretty tall arch, kind of like a N, letter N, like that. I made it a little bit taller because, wait till you see how we're gonna glue it down. So you make your arch. Now it's still folded in half, so I'm gonna get 2 pieces, right? Because there's 2 eyes on a frog. So we are going to cut this arch. So he's got 2 nice eyes, just like that. Oh, look, I even made it a little taller than at first, but that's okay, because now at the very bottom, I want you to bend and fold, a little tiny fold at the bottom. Can you see that? So there's a little fold, that's where we're gonna put the glue, on that skinny fold part. I'm gonna do that on this one too. I'm just gonna fold it down just a little bit, okay? So that's where we'll put the glue, on the little skinny fold. I'll show you. Put the glue just on that little skinny part, like that, because then his eye, I'm putting it on the top of, here's his smile, so here's his head, face, and I'm gonna glue it like this. And that way his eye is like standing up, because I only glued that little folded piece. Let's do that again so you can see it. I almost lost it, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna put the glue on the fold. I don't wanna glue the back because then it will stick down to the top of his face, right? So I'm gonna put the other eye right on there. Now we have 2 eyes. But he doesn't really have any eyeballs. So what I'm going to do, you could cut more paper if you wanted. I'm going to take a black marker and I'm going to make him some eyeballs. Now you can make them as big or as small as you want. I'm going to give him kind of big eyes. See, I put that there, and I'll do another one on this one. Like that, and then we color it in. You can make, if you want him to have different colored eyes, that's okay. I just have a black marker. I think it'll be easier for you to see it. Okay, there's one. He looks pretty happy. Color in the other eyeball. And I'm trying not to get it on his face because I just want it to be his eyes. Okay, then we're going to give him 2 little, like, here, I'll show you. On here, 2 little nostrils for his nose. So they're close together and they're just 2 little bloop, 2 little humps. Like that. That's pretty cute, right? Now, I have a green crayon because I use light green paper. I'm going to use a regular green crayon and I'm going to put some spots on him. You know, frogs don't always look just flat green, do they? Sometimes they have other colored spots. I'm going to use a green crayon because I want my frog kind of to be all green. But maybe your frog is a rainbow frog. Maybe you have a yellow frog or a green frog. So I'm going to put some spots on him just to make him look a little more froggy-like. I like it. Maybe a couple of little tiny ones across his nose. Right? You can do it however you want. He's so cute. Now, you can either stop right there. There's your frog. But if you want him to have a tongue to catch some flies, you're going to get your red paper again. See, this is where I cut off my mouth, so I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm just going to cut one piece off the side. That seems like a really long tongue, so I think I'm going to trim it down a little bit. That's up to you. You could make it bigger if you want. Then, just like the eyes or the legs, we're only going to put glue on the bottom part of the tongue. So just about that much glue, okay? And then we're going to stick it in the mouth like that. So the glue part is there. Now we have to curl it. How do you curl it? With your pencil, of course. So you take your pencil and you wrap the tongue, roll it up around the pencil. I'm just rolling it up. Keep on rolling. Just like that. Once you roll it all the way up, take your pencil out, and you have a curly tongue. What do you think about that? That's a pretty cute frog. If you decide to make a cute little frog, I would love to see it. Send me an email with your frog picture in it. Put it in the comments on Facebook. I would love to see your frogs. What do you think? He's pretty cute. Now, our frog in the story was a baseball player. You could put a baseball hat on him. Maybe if you like to be a, who knows? If you like to do, what other kind of hats could we wear? A hat, oh, if he needs a rain hat on a rainy day, that would be a cute hat to put on him. Or a sun visor when it's sunny out. All cute ideas. You can decorate your frog however you'd like. Well, that was fun. What do you say we spread some joy? First, I'm going to cover up my glue stick because I don't want it to dry out. All right, Joy, are you ready? I think she's ready. All right, we are going to spread some joy today. How do you think we're going to do it, Joy? Let's find out. Mix it all up. Let's see. Ooh, this is always a great one. Thank your parents. Our parents are the people that do the most for us, aren't they? They make sure we get to school every day. They make sure we have clothes to wear and food to eat and a warm, safe house. And they're also there whenever we want to play and have some fun, or we need some help with our homework, or maybe we just want to share our day with someone. Your parents are always there for you. So why don't you take a minute right now? The video's almost done. As soon as we're done, I want you to run up to your mom and your dad and give them a big hug and thank them for everything that they do for us. That will really bring them some joy. And even if they're having a kind of a bad day or if they're in a little bit of a grumpy mood, if you thank them, That will put a smile on their face. What a great way to spread some joy. I'm going to thank my mom as soon as I get home today. What about you, Joy? She agrees. Okay, I hope you enjoyed our fairy tale today. Go make those frogs, get outside and enjoy the super summer-like weather this week. And of course, as always, keep spreading your joy.